I was just going to say, it's been great meeting you guys, becoming friends with you guys, and all of the other folks in LGO that we've met and become close with. It's been a ride and still got a long way to go, but I'm glad we're here.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Season 2 of the Liberal Gun Owners Lens podcast. I am Miyanovich, and I will be your pilot on an unprecedented ride through the most innovative and forward-thinking analysis of the relationship between humans and guns on planet Earth. The entire nexus between guns and public safety needs a wake-up call, and Liberal Gun Owners is here to rock that party. Are you somebody who thinks you know what's going on with guns and public safety? I don't give a shit. I'm dragging your ass into the future whether you like it or not.
So, what do you guys think about the future political scape, the election coming up, and then like the future of guns, like maybe the future of liberal gun ownership? Let's start with that. The future of guns and liberals. Do you think it's, I don't want to say petering out, plateauing? Do you think it'll continue to grow? Are there any things that you think that might become exceptional in the future? Do you think about these things?
I think there was an awakening. Not all liberals, of course, and then I think there's people that went back to sleep too. But I think there was enough of an awakening to start building something, especially with the National African American Guns Association and things like that. Growing guns, it's not as much as guns are old white guys. There's some more openness to it. I think that should grow. I think the current composition of like the Supreme Courts, while negative for a lot of social issues, is at this point not going to kill gun rights. I do have concerns, of course, with a lot of other social stuff that is going to come up with the Supreme Court cases. I think hopefully people are starting to see the stupidity of the anti-gun left liberals that are out there. I mean, if you get a little bit of an education at all in guns, and some people were forced to because of their tribalistic reactions to Trump with the danger to their life, real stuff like that. I think some people had an awakening, and then they hear these politicians talking about guns and not knowing what the fuck they're talking about. Even close, not even trying to sound like they know what they're talking about. I think that'll only have a net positive for our guns rights and liberal gun ownership in the long term, because a little bit of knowledge is a dangerous thing for people.
Yeah. And you don't see it as like some future of like explosive gun ownership, like more like the initial explosion kind of happened and now it's just kind of like be studied.
I think if we see the Florida governor DeSantis get into office, and I think he's going to be worse than Trump with attacking social issues, with marking liberals, or at least the same as bad as Trump, where people are again going to have that tribalist reaction where we're passing laws and legislating lives and things like that, where I think I could see another explosion. I definitely could.
I think along the same lines as Adam, when Trump was elected, there was a huge explosion, like we talked about earlier, even within our own group, right? Lots of people who never even thought of owning a gun suddenly are afraid and want a gun and want to know how to use it safely. I think that, and then piling onto that was COVID. A lot of people at the beginning of COVID had no clue what was going to happen. So a lot of people freaked out. I remember going to a gun shop in southern Michigan and it was cleaned out. It was like all kinds of people. There was a line outside just to buy one box of ammo. I think a lot of it has kind of plateaued somewhat, but I think the potential is still there to grow. Like Adam said, a lot of the guys or people have probably realized, I don't really need the gun, but a lot have grown into it, right? And as far as further potential, I think for one, coming up on the general election, we don't know what's going to happen with Trump. He very likely could win again. And for one, there will be a lot of uncertainty there, right? If we're talking constitutional crisis, if he gets convicted and he wins, what happens, right? We've never had a situation like this, which is pretty fucking crazy to even be talking about. But a lot more people are going to be really scared because sure, his presidency was a shit show, right? I think round 2 has the potential to be 100 times worse. I think if he wins, he's going to be looking for revenge on a lot of his political opponents, and the people that a certain segment of Trump's followers will be more emboldened by all of this. So I think the potential for gun ownership is going to be is there. As far as it being an issue with like on the left or center left even, I think it's been a dead end issue for a while. For one, logically, I don't know how it would work, right? If they were to say tomorrow, well, guns are banned. Well, there's already more guns in America than there are people. How do you logically think this is going to work out? But also, I mean, at a certain point, I think the Democratic Party has to realize we need to widen our net and get back those, white working class voters. So I think the strong anti-gun stuff, maybe it's good during a primary, but I think it has definite potential of hurting a Democratic candidate during a general election. Hopefully they eventually realize that.
The potential, I've said recently over the past year that if you want to see the true coercive power in society of all of this, if the National African American Gun Association continues to grow as they have, and that coalition not supporting the gun control policy, that could have major implications for who takes the White House eventually. Maybe not necessarily in terms of total numbers in the popular vote, but in terms of being able to win states. I could see that definitely happening. I could see that definitely happening. Maybe not this upcoming year, but eventually. But I see it in two ways, sort of just mirroring what both of you have just said, which is like if Biden runs and wins, then I think liberal gun ownership, left of center gun ownership just grows in a trickle like it has been. If Trump wins or whoever runs, well, let's just go with Jimmy's scenario of Trump, because to me, that's like fucking just like Bazonko's way out. Like if that were to happen, I think you're definitely going to see that facts don't matter after that, for sure. Like it's all about emotion and reactivity, and whether or not Donald Trump is the fucking destroyer of worlds, maybe he's too dumb to be that. But people are going to treat it like that. Many people are going to treat it like that, way more than did before. And so you're going to see a run, for sure, a hard run into buying, maybe not like active liberal gun ownership, but you're definitely going to see more of a run into guns for sure. And that could be a bad thing. because the thing that I've been thinking about a lot is usually what happens with liberal gun ownership is it grows because of reactivity. And that's not necessarily always a good thing, because the people who are reacting aren't necessarily seeking competency or training necessarily. They're, as Alessandro Padovani said when he was on the podcast, if you have paranoid, like stirred up people running to gun ownership with no training and responsibility and nothing there to stabilize them, that's actually a really bad thing. So it could go either way. I wouldn't be shocked if there was some reactivity. I would be shocked if Trump won again. I would be shocked.
Well, I mean, I think at this point, this minute, this day, he's almost certainly going to win the primary. I mean, a lot can happen between now and then, right? Haley or another Republican could say, fuck it, I'm running anyway. And then what happens there? Does that hurt Trump? Does that hurt Biden? Who knows? I mean, and talking about whether, truth or facts matter, I think we're beyond that already. I think at this point, there's a certain segment of the American population that are going to vote for people who say that they're going to punish the people those voters dislike, whether their actions after the fact or before that match what they say, doesn't matter. If they say, I'm going to throw, crooked Hillary in prison, doesn't matter if I've had 50 divorces and some abortions and I've said guns should be banned in the past, doesn't matter. So as long as you promise to punish the people I don't like, yeah, I'm voting for you.
It's unfortunate, but that's definitely where we are. So the other question I want to ask you guys before we wrap up, well, does anybody have anything that they want to say about the Facebook era, the Facebook group during the developmental era?
Yeah. So first time we met. So the first time we met when you came up to you're beginning your tour. Yeah. So my first thoughts were, man, this motherfucker's tall.
Which is true.
It is true. And I think the first time Adam and I met was at the first Texas training, right? Yep. We were roomies that training.
Which was done on purpose. Which you guys were chosen as roommates for on purpose. Yeah, and I like to look. Sorry, go ahead, Jimmy.
I was just going to say it's been great meeting you guys. Becoming friends with you guys and all of the other folks in LGO that we've met and become close with. It's been a ride and still got a long way to go, but I'm glad we're here.
Definitely. I was going to joke, all the people we've met come close to and then kicked out.
Yeah. Fair point.
Which is quite a few, or kick themselves out, or remove themselves. It's been a little bit too common. So I was trying to think if there was anything else in terms of the Facebook. Yeah, I mean, it's just sort of reflects my feelings about it in general, is that it's important, but I don't want to really spend too much more time.
Well, and I think it's just the people that watch this. I'm probably saying stuff they've already done, but if you don't know all the stuff off Facebook that we've done, if you haven't seen our website, if you haven't read the Anthropology Pillar, if you haven't, done that stuff, and you're listening to this and you've actually gotten to the point where you're hearing this, what the fuck?
Hey, do you know if Grobman has ever listened to the podcast?
No, I don't think so. He goes on podcasts, but he doesn't.
Don't call me Rob.
Yeah, I mean, I think the what the fuck, Adam, is just something we're going to end up leaving. Like, we've been here for 15 years. We've been fighting for this shit for well over 10 years. Everything's pretty solid with the internet. have moved into a place where there's people who want to support and people that don't. People that want to be in the know and people that don't. And we're moving forward with the people that do these things. The things that we generate in the future are not going to be for the people that do nothing. They're going to be for the people that want to get involved. That's what's up. We're not spending any more fucking time or money trying to stimulate people into action who are just on the internet for whatever they're on the internet for. We did our best. We created some things. They're here for people to use, but we're going to move on, and we have, creating things in the real world that are going to be big difference makers. That's really what's up.